Did I ever tell you about the time I got staff, bro?
You got staff?
I got staff.
Oh, where?
From a tournament, bro.
From a tournament?
From a tournament, bro.
Oh man.
I've never competed in this. I've never competed at this tournament. All the competitions I've done for 12 years, I went to one tournament, got staff, and never competed under that flag again.
Yeah.
And have never gotten staff since.
What turn?
I don't want to say, but
grappling game.
It wasn't grappling game.
They didn't watch the match.
It wasn't grappling games. Amy has a clean show, but
the worst I ever got was just wingworm. You know, but
yeah.
that was partly my fault. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because sports people across the board, doesn't matter. Like they all like their superstitions and are really their routine and like that. Like that shit is like for real. You know what I mean?
Hey, 100%.
So like what's one thing that you heard when like coming up in jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, don't wash your belt.
Don't wash your belt.
Don't wash your belt.
So same thing with wrestling, bro. You know what I mean? Like I have my knee pads, never washed my. I just wanted that juice, that stain on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. So bro, and so sure enough, man, freaking after I started in 8th grade. I probably switched knee pads out probably twice. Probably had like 2 different types of knee pads like that. But I know like throughout, sophomore, junior, senior year, I had the same knee pad.
Oof.
For sure. I would
always bro.
yeah. And so I ended up getting one, and I had to get it frozen off. When I eventually went to the military.
Right.
Like that. They had like that. I don't know why that would disqualify you from being in the military like that, but yeah, they're like you got to get that removed, or you're not gonna be
Word.
Yeah. It sounds like so small, so stupid.
Well, see, that's what. So I was doing no-gi at this tournament. And I went in for a shot, and shot, knee hit the ground. You kind of scraped the mat a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. So scraped the mat a little bit.
Was it like the hard tatami mats?
Yeah. It was the super hard, like they weren't smooth.
If I guess it, would you say it? Because there's only one tournament ever that I've ever like that, and that was the Fuji tournaments.
No. It wasn't Fuji either. It wasn't Fuji either.
They had those judo, or like, is it the judo ones? Because those are hard, bro.
And they're kind of like gritty, super
those,
grips. No, like concrete. But so I went in for a shot, got a little, I didn't think anything of it. Same. You go home, take a shower, the whole bit. But then I started noticing. I was like, man, that scrape is turning green. Like, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
100%, bro. Got staff from the tournament. And then after that, when I started doing no-gi, I started wearing spats.
Yeah.
So that was like, I was like, okay, I just don't want to get.
Get that extra layer in there.
Yeah, let me get a buffer.
Cocoa butter didn't do enough for it.
Nah, cocoa butter. I was going to put some Vicks, bro, but that didn't help either. So I was like, damn. No
like
Tiger Bomb.
Like other than that, man, and like this wasn't from sports or nothing like that. This is just me, and then like just out of necessity because I didn't have a lot of money, so like I just hung on to all my gear for a very long time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that. I took care of it as long as I could, but the thing is that. Hey, a decade of wearing this shit is still a decade of wearing this shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because I ended up developing a nasty like wingworm rash on my midsection, like that. It was so bad. Like, man, I got to a point for like a good 3 years of just like, man, it was like, cause it was just so weird. Like during the day, never freaking it wasn't inflamed or like really bothered me in that.
Right.
Bro, it was right around freaking as soon as I hit the bed and I wanted to lay down and sleep, bro, man, I could just nonstop scratching. And it was to a point where Crystal was like, babe, we're going to the doctor. You know what I mean? And finally went to the doctor, got some like steroids, freaking cream and stuff like that, cleared it all up. Like that, and like, but the thing was, is like, it wasn't until I went to the doctor, I mean, like to the dermatologist, and they were like asking me questions and stuff like that. When did it like when did it start developing and what did it like that? And I was like, shit, and they're like, and I was like, I work out all the time. Like that, well, when was the last time you ever bought new clothes? And I was like, you got me there. I was like, had to throw all my shit out and like that,
bro.
And I get it, bro. I get it. You know what I mean? You just don't really think about these things like that. But hey, after 15 years,
Bro, I put a little
like
bleach and all this stuff. When I clean it, there's a little bleach.
So, man, you know what I found, man, that was like, like really takes out the stink, the stains, everything like that is freaking borax. I tell people all the time,
I got some borax,
man, like
borax
that.
too.
You know, you could be methodical about it, let it soak for a good 24 hours or something.
That's what I
You know
had.
what I mean? Especially, you know, freaking your equipment, you know what I mean? Not so like that, like, you know, your equipment that's all more heavy duty and stuff like that. Not so much your light shirts or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like that stuff, let it just soak in there and then wash it.
Geese.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I think,
So
yeah, I
like
think
that.
it'll do it.
All right, but hey, gonna get in this topic for sure. Welcome back to Sweat Equity, guys. All right, I'm Eric Valdez alongside Jules Johnson. All right, hope y'all having a good one. All right, again, guys. All right, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you know, and YouTube. Hit us up and you know, freaking start following us on Instagram at SweatEquity_HTX, guys. All right, today's topic, guys, exactly what we're starting right now. Right here, all right, the do's and don'ts, guys, all right. For us, we're going to be talking about jiu-jitsu, all right? We can get into some other comments, some other sports, guys, like that. If you know, leave a comment, you know, afterwards of what another other sports or, you know, fitness, you know, area would you like to hear about some do's and don'ts like that. But today is going to be the do's and don'ts, all right? We narrowed it down to 10. Like that, 10-ish.
10-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that. We don't want to be overwhelming like that. But I think, you know, they're going to hit a lot of key points, you know, like that. But if we lift something off, guys, all right, and you really think that it should be on the list, again, leave a comment at the end for sure. All right, like that. And so off the bat, all right, there's no particular order, you know, it's not top 10, you know, like that, no particular order like that, but what exactly we were just talking about right now. Number one thing for us, all right, is hygiene.
Hygiene
For sure.
Hygiene.
Like that, you know, and you know, like that goes from washing your gis or your gear, all your gear, doesn't matter, your gi, no gi, whatever like that, you know, your nails, cutting your fingernails like that.
Bro, that's my pet peeve.
Yes,
bro.
I had to say it's so like there's.
But it's not the fingernails, bro. It's the toenails, bro.
Like it. Okay, it's any like toenails. Yeah, that's too hurts too because we are barefooting like that,
right.
And you don't realize how much you really like grip with your feet, you know, like that. But the thing is like I think cutting your nails is like above, you know, washing, you know, everything, because the thing is like you're always touching things, you know, you're scratching and stuff like there's just so much bacteria that just is under your fingernails. Yeah, like that.
It's gross.
You know what I mean? Like for me, I keep mine always short like that,
right.
But like when I see people like those long, like, you know, crackhead nails, I'm like, bro, cut that shit.
Please cut.
Like that, bro.
So
like,
I actually keep clippers, like nail clippers, in my car.
I got some right in my office.
Because it's like, yo, if I, like, I'm like, oh man, my nail's too long. I clip them right before it. And I keep some in the bag that I travel with when I go compete, because sometimes you know, they're not super long, but you know, I'm going to compete, I'm clipping my nails.
Yeah.
I don't.
You know, also like gross, you know, again, nails is a big one. Your toenails, your fingernails, washing your gis. All right. I don't even know why I have to say it, but sometimes I have to say it. You know what I mean? Wash your ass,
bro.
Just wash your ass, deodorant. You know what I mean? It's all in there.
So. Washing your ass is key.
Of course,
like that's a thing. Like yeah, I mean, we shouldn't discuss that.
I understand. Like, okay, you know, I remember when I was 7, 8 years old and stuff like that. You always try to, you know, not get out of the bath. You try to go to sleep early. You know what I mean? So like that. All right, we not 7, 8 years old. You're 20. You're 27. You're 28 years old. Bro, wash your ass.
But you gotta take a real bath. So I've been seeing all this stuff about showers on the internet, bro, where people are like, do you wash your legs or do you just let the soap run down your body to your legs? That's not a bath, fam. Bro, you're not taking a bath if you're not washing your legs.
Talking about this right here like that, like I would say within the last like couple years, I've made it a mindful thought of freaking of how I clean myself.
Right.
Because usually I would just get in there and I would just soap up, you know, lather up soap like that. And then freaking and then wash that off. Then I'll do my hair and then, you know, like that, and then wash it off. But then, you know, it's just like the saying, shit rolls downhill. You know what I mean? Right. So because I already washed my body, then I attack my hair like that, and then I wash it, and then it goes down to my body. I was like, I don't know why it never hit me, but I don't know like what made me pay attention to that, you know, like that. Bro, I totally within the last couple of years have changed that. Now, like I wash my hair first,
Right.
and then I wash my body.
Bro,
It's just so weird.
It's
I don't know, like
it's a thing, bro.
Yeah, it's a thing for me now. I really pay attention to it now.
It gets deep. It gets deeper than rap because I like there's certain rags that you use to clean like I won't clean.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like
I got my own bar. Just let you know, I got my own.
It's
bar.
like there's stuff. It's
like that.
It's 100%.
When I'm out and about, like vacations or families like that, like I make sure like if they don't have
I take my own body wash.
Like if they don't have body wash or anything like that, then like that, then I get my own bar. Yeah, like that. Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna tell you something it's amazing for showers. Have you seen like the bath gloves?
Man, I got my wife has one. I don't get into
bro.
I love a loofah. You know what I mean?
Okay, loofah's a dope too.
Good,
Loofah's a dope too. But yeah, I love the glove. But please wash your ass. But it's not that though, bro. That's not the thing you should wash, bro. You know your fucking gi stinks. You know your gi stinks, bro.
Again, man, borax. All right, 100%, guys. Look into it. I bet you some of y'all have it underneath your kitchen seat, and y'all don't even know what it does. You
can even use a little white vinegar. Put a little white vinegar in the. But bro, please, bro, nothing. Don't be the smelly
my
guy.
wife even got to a point where she was putting like these little essence drops in there, like essence. Drops in there like that. I didn't want to say essence, essence like that to really like better. Like I could tell it deep. Like they're like, you know what I mean? Like you just in the side control. Damn, bro, you smell good. Like, yeah, my wife washes my geese.
Bro, that's happened to me because I was like, man, this dude's laundry is amazing.
What do you use? Some Huggies.
You do not want to be the smelly gi guy, bro. That's terrible, bro. And it's not just because what creates odor? Bacteria.
Yeah. So that's why your shit stinks.
That's why it stinks because it's covered in bacteria. Stop.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, man. Freaking going in training like that, and then you walk up to, or the guy walks up to you, and it's supposed to be a white gi. What color is it though?
Oh, but it's like gold.
It's like an off.
It's like a light brown, like a beige gi.
Yeah, beige gi is like
yeah, no.
That's just gonna smell, bro.
So I feel like it's really important to wash your gi, bro. But like, I'm like super sensitive about it. So if I leave, you know how you leave stuff in the laundry too long and then it gets that smell, bro.
No, I set timers, man.
I wash it again.
Yeah, I set timers because I'm not gonna lie. Like I was, go put a load in and then I get busy doing something like that and I fucking forget about it, and then the next morning I'm like, fuck. You know what I mean, or something like that. For sure. Yeah. Again, let's wash it again.
Wash it again.
Because honestly, that mildew smell. If you just throw it right into the dryer, it still smells. You know what I mean?
Stinks, bro. No, I can't do it.
That's number one for sure.
I can't. Yeah.
Like that. That's hygiene. Up there, especially like that. Just taking care of your equipment. You know what I mean?
But just like we're just like that, all that bacteria leads to, because when you don't cut your nails and you have a nasty gi, if your nails are cut, you open somebody's cut. Yeah. Now ringworm, staph. It just all kind of stuff can come. All that shit. All this stuff comes off of that.
That shit spreads too. You know what I mean?
Bro, it can shut a gym down, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So make sure you just, I don't know why it needs to be said, but as an instructor, as a teacher, like I gotta say it sometimes, and it's just crazy. I'm like, man, y'all growing as adults. Yeah. Another one too. All right. I have a real sensitive nose. You know what I mean? How like that?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of times I'm walking in the house and I smell something and like I can't really put my finger on it, and I'll be questioning my wife like that, and then sure enough, like she did something weird in the house, spread something weird like that, and like like my spidey senses. But for me, look, I have no problem with people that smoke weed. All right.
Right.
I used to do it. I don't do it, at all anymore like that. I'm not opposed to it or anything like that. But the thing is like, the ones that you just like, bro, did you just freaking...
Bro, did you just hotbox in the car?
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or even, all right, nothing against freaky, my dread guys or anything like that, guys with dread, like that shit like seeps
in there, bro.
In the hair, you know what I mean? It's already dead follicles and skin and hair and everything like that. Bro, my nose, like I'm I'm like, God,
but I mean,
it's a long round.
And
you know
see,
I'm
I'm like a non-smoker, non-drinker, period. So, but it's just like, come on, man. Like, I don't like that smell, and when it's distracting.
Yeah, it is.
It's distracting.
And I'm gonna tell you another thing that's distracting. All right, and it really hasn't been coming more. It's like it's never came to the forefront for me, like with adults. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. Maybe with a female because they're more prone to using perfume and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Perfume and cologne.
Right.
All right. You know where the cologne comes from, bro? Like that. Now that I teach the kids class, and I'm instructing the kids class, bro. I these little kids, man. Freaking. It smells like they just freaking lathered up before freaking class because they want to impress the girl that's in. Like that. I'm like, and I'm in here trying to roll with them. I'm like, oh, like because bro, right in the front of my forehead, bro. I just start getting nasty headaches.
So that's the thing about it, though, that you have to be cognizant of is because some people have allergies to stuff like that. So you're wearing, you got on your, I don't know, cool water or whatever. Snoop like
some
cool
brute.
Water. Yeah, you got some brute. Some juke. You wear whatever you're wearing,
some
but
polo.
then it's like it's sending somebody into fits because you have all this cologne on. And I also, I mean, like to be like cologne. You don't see it. You really don't see it a lot. But sometimes, people will come, like, especially women will come right after work with a ton of makeup on. And then you're like, we roll at Pablo's, you're wearing a white gi. And now you got like a face on your
whole face, cheek on like
I mean, it's just
caked
like,
on you.
It's just like, I mean, I get it, things happen or whatever, and it's not a thing. But if for me, makeup is, if you can avoid it, it's not going to kill anybody. But perfume and cologne,
I keep wipes in my restroom, so
people,
that
you could send somebody could have a fit because of that. Cologne.
Especially you spending some good money on your gis and the training and stuff like that. Right. They getting fucked up or stained or stuff like that. So something that like that. So I keep makeup wipes in my restroom at my gym and stuff like that. Like just go ahead, just be friendly like that. All right, real quick before we go on to the next one like that. So at that age, being like 10, 11, 12, especially in middle school, I remember all the time, bro. I getting ready and like for the girls, I would put on like cologne, like deodorant, cologne, and Axe spray, and then bro, and then I'll triple up on my hair too. When I did my hair,
right.
You know what I mean? Because I'll have gel, I'll have mousse, and then I'll have freaking hairspray.
Oh, your hair didn't even move,
bro. Just a straight block. Just you know what I mean? And
right.
I like man at that age, bro, like that is
bro, hair not moving, like 100% still.
And then they always wanted to mess with it. I'll get so mad, bro. I was like,
That's funny,
bro. That's funny. Like that. So hey, you know what I mean? No cologne, no like that, man. Especially with guys like sensitive noses for sure.
Yeah, you got the but here's another, like we kind of hit on this before in my eyes, which is a big like a do. And it's like, be sure to communicate when you're at the gym. Like not just communicate with your training partner, but communicate with your coach, because, and I think we probably talked about it in this aspect before. Like if me or you were training and I go, hey, I've got a rib issue over here.
Bruised rib or something. I've got
that. We can still make the training work for both of us without me dying because my rib is hurt. But that happens when you communicate with your partner, communicate with your coach, not just about bruised ribs. There's all the stuff that we've talked about communicating. But I just feel like, we put so much like it's murder yoga. Like you're literally putting your life in somebody's hands. Like, please try to choke me. Please toe hold me, heel hook me, whatever.
Yeah.
Like communicate with the person, let them know what's going on, because you have to have like your life's in their hands. There has to be like a bond of trust or something.
And to take it another way too, like that is not like avoiding injuries or anything like that. Let's say you're probably like you're peaking out and you're probably a week out for your next big event and stuff like that, and then you don't want to get hurt.
Right.
Like you want to get a good look in like that, but then you're not trying to freaking be fighting for your life with somebody like that. That's another reason why you should be communicating with the other guy. But like, hey, I got pans, or No-Gi Worlds is coming up, right? right?
Nogi pants just started today.
Yeah, Nogi pants, like that. I got Nogi pants freaking, like that. This is my last rows. I'm just cutting weight like that. Let's just let's do a more flow session, you know what I mean? Or something like that. That's, a great way to communicate.
Right.
For sure, you know what I mean? Or going back to the injuries and things like that, maybe you're probably on a sore ankle, from your last, tournament, maybe got in a ankle lock or something like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like, hey, I want to roll. But I think a lot of times, when people are like want to talk about that stuff, the other guy, it's kind of a little off-putting for like, I'm here to train. You know what I mean? Like, come on now, dude, don't be a fucking ass, or a dick.
But you can still, like, if you have an ankle injury. Mm-hmm. So I say, you have an ankle injury. Cool. We can roll. You can still catch the toe hold. You just don't crank it.
Yeah.
You just catch it and let it go because, whatever. Like there are ways to do it, and when people communicate with you, because that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like you're supposed to be giving people a hard roll, but it's a good look. And maybe your move is the toe hold, but if the person's ankle, maybe I got to try something else now, and it'll help me expand my game because I can't just go after this dude's ankle. I think you got to talk, man.
So with what you just said right now, I think the next one, all right, number 3 is check your ego at the door.
Oh.
Yeah. So, with this, we had a lot of them, so I was able to put 4 in this category. All right. I think, the biggest one, starting out, a lot of people just don't realize what they're really doing. All right.
Right.
Because they're more in survival mode and stuff like that. But then a lot of it is just, it might be their ego because they don't want you to get the best of them and stuff like that. And it's being a spaz.
Right.
Yeah.
Freaking out.
Yeah. Just freaking out. You're going too hard like that and stuff, like that. And some of it, I just think it's half and half. It's negligence, and then other is like, bro, you're just being a spaz, and like, you know those people who they are.
Right.
Like, nah, I'm not gonna roll with freaking Joe Snow because
he's
dude
always
wrist locked the shit out of me. Like
he snatched it.
Yeah, like he's thinking it's a tournament. Like that. So we had that. It's Monday, bro. It's Monday freaking night class. I mean,
right.
I'm like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Right. This is not the place.
Yeah.
But the reason that you have to check your ego at the door, because what happens if you don't do that is you'll never learn, because you'll default to the one thing that you do well, and then you keep doing that over and over and over again, and now you're like, look at me, I'm the champion, I'm the top of the heap. Like, but you ain't learned nothing. So all you got is an arm bar. Good job.
Yeah, how many did you get a medal? For that class for that arm bar.
Did you win?
I have to remind a lot of people that all the time. I'm like, y'all didn't get nothing. Not today, like that. I'm like, if anything, you freaking, all right. Going back to what you said of cranking, freaking submissions and stuff like that. You hurt your guy, your partner, and like that. Guess what? Now we're one less guy down. You don't have your training partner like that, and so freaking now the room is a little bit smaller.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's and then let's say that's probably like your number one training partner too.
Right.
Like that, and
now
I get
out.
it. I get that accidents happen. All right, but a lot of them can just be eliminated off the bat, just being controlled.
Controlled. Controlled. That's exactly what it is. You just have to be controlled.
So number 4, come prepared. Yeah. I think that we can go with a lot of different routes of being like coming prepared and stuff like that. The main ones off the bat is, obviously how many times you have people that are missing their belt, like that.
Yeah.
You can have their top, but they don't have the bottom, and vice versa.
I did that the other day.
Like that. But, and like I understand, freaking it's rush hour, coming after work, like that.
It happens.
You're at home, you have freaking 2 kids and like that, and you're just trying to push like that, and if it happens, you know what I mean? But if it's a consistent thing like that, like, fuck, man, Jules, you don't got your fucking belt again, or like that.
But it's also that mental preparedness, bro.
Yes. And that's another thing, off that, being prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's coming in there being prepared, okay, like depending on what class is it, all right? Is this, if this is primarily rolling class, or this is primarily, skills day where we're learning like that.
Right.
Like putting your mindset of like, freaking being prepared for that, and like giving your best, for your training partners.
But like giving your best for what's going on. Because so some people think, well, it's just a drill class. So I can just lay there and be a dead fish. It's not what that means.
No.
It means, you still want to activate stuff. You still want to activate. You still want to put up. You still want to give them a good look. Like you want to give them a good look. You're just not giving them a good look at 95, 120%. You're giving them a good look at 10%, 15%, so they can get accustomed to the motion, the movement, whatever it is that's going on. But you have to be prepared to do that. If you think that drill class means you're just going to lay there with your feet on somebody's hips while they walk in circles around you, you're not doing anybody any good. You might as well just stay at home.
Nah, yeah. So that's a good one right there, like that. And coming with prepared, all right, freaking number 4, all right, that we have is train with a purpose. All right. So, that goes hand in hand, like that, training with a purpose. And, for the number one thing I have 2 things right here, coming off training with a purpose, that. And, train, this is one thing that I heard, and I've really applied it to my game a lot. Okay. Not because I want, easy rounds or anything like that, but training with lower ranking belts. All right. To hone my technique.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Like that. And
absolutely.
I believe,
no, I do it. It's my way.
I forgot who said it that I really started. I wanted to say it was who's Kron Gracie's dad?
There's too many Gracies.
There's too many Gracies.
It's let's see. I can find out.
Right. Why am I not? I can see his face right now. All right. But anyways, he said, freaking, try to train at least 2 to 3 belt levels below you, like that, and it's because why? All right. Let's say you're in a Saturday class and you're getting ready for a tournament, okay, and you're going against another freaking Hickson Gracie, Hickson Gracie, all right. And let's say, you're in Saturday class and you're training with another black belt, at your weight class, freaking your skill set like that. Do you really feel that you're going to be able to pull off anything or practice anything new with that same cell, like that? No, y'all both butting heads and it's stalemating.
Not unless they know.
Yeah,
Not unless they know that you're trying to do it.
It's a Saturday class. It's a comp class.
Not in a comp class. It'll never work.
You're going in there. Let's say you're going in there to work, freaking your bolos or work your double X guard, like that, a certain move off your double X or whatever it is like that. Let's say you're trying to work that. That other black belt is not going to give you that. He ain't give you not 1 inch. You know what I mean? Not at all. Because it's comp class. You're trying to. But let's say you go down, to a blue belt. You know what I mean? Like that. The blue belt's still fighting you, but that they're gonna freaking their skill set is gonna give you a little bit more freaking leadway because their game is not as tight as what the black belt is gonna be. Right. So you're able, even if you do mess up like that you're still able to go through the motions and execute, like that. It might be like a 7 or 8 out of 10 on executing the technique, but it's going to be a 0 out of 10 with a freaking another guy at your level. You know what I mean? So
the way that I see it, and I tell people this all the time, it's of course it's definitely easier to do with a black belt. It's harder to do with blue belt. Mm-hmm. But I look at when Saturday is that's our comp class. Yeah. It's our balls out comp class. So Saturday is hard. It's tough. And then you'll have, there's Sunday. Then you have Monday. So Monday is my white belt day. Mm-hmm. And then Tuesday, I go blue belt. Then I go blue and purple. Mm-hmm. Wednesday and Thursday, it may be purple and brown. And then Friday, it's high level, brown, black. To try to focus on that. If I'm getting ready for a competition, then I may turn that around and just start looking for people that match my weight. Mm-hmm. I'll figure it out, but I need somebody to match my weight. If it's a fucking 6'4", 240-pound white belt, he may not know, but I need the force and the pressure. You make the training work for you. Mm-hmm. But the reason I do that is because on Monday, your body's tired. You need to fix stuff. You need to move around a little bit. It's somebody that you can control. You can work on those things. But bro, the gnarliest thing to watch is 2 one stripe white belts going at it, bro.
Bro,
that is the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Freaking
bro,
in a vortex.
Like I look at it and I'm like I can just like, oop, there's my ACL, oop, there's my MCL. Like, I'm just like, oh, everything's popping. And so it helps them out because you're there with them and you can help them hone their techniques also. So I just was like, oh, this will give me a way to give back to the lower belts, not just picking higher belts to roll. And I can still work on my game, still help them also, and help grow through the week, because you're not gonna you would literally have to say, hey, Eric, I want to work on single leg X, and then you say, oh, okay, and then you may let me get to the position. But you're not going to do that in comp class.
No, you're not going to do it in comp class.
You're not going to do it in comp class.
You know, like that. So the next one I have under this train with a purpose is put yourself in tough positions. All right. Like, I think it's just so undervalued of, how much you can really benefit off putting yourself like that. Because again, you're not winning any medals. It's class like that, and then what's going to happen when you're being put in those positions in an actual tournament?
Right.
And,
you've never been in them.
You've never been in them, like that. And so let me go back, because you said something about how you're phasing through, throughout the week and stuff like that. I have a similar thing, but I do it on Saturdays for my comp class. You know what I mean? Like that. We know, like, at Pablo's is going to be 10 rounds.
Right.
10 rounds, 6 minutes each, like that, with about 2 to 3 minute break in between and stuff like that. So that first round, obviously, everyone's going to have like a warm up round. They're just trying to, like that, unless you're looking at the 2 white belts. that they're going full out.
Right.
Yeah, it's a warm up round. You know what I mean? For sure, I'm picking like a white belt or a high level blue belt like that to start to like that.
Right.
Then the next one, then it's a purple or brown belt.
Right.
Then I get the next 3 to 5 rounds after that. It's my bulk of my actual training.
It's the hard roll.
I'm talking about guys my size, brown belts, black belts, like that, any size like that, all my bulk. Then I start to all right, after I get through that bulk and I'm fucking tired, all right, now I start to go back to the white belts, like that.
Pull the technique out when I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly. So now that I'm back at the white belts, where I know I could put myself in a tough position to get out, but there's not a serious threat, as what it would be for any purple belts and higher up, where they really where they know the position they're in and they're gonna execute something and then really put like that. Okay, that's where I'm putting myself in those tough positions like that. Letting him work. I mean, what's the point of me just destroying this guy for 6 freaking minutes, like that, and
he'll never come back.
Yeah, and then making him feel like, man, fuck this shit, I suck, I ain't coming back. You know what I mean? No, every once in a while you gotta give, you gotta throw a bone to them like that.
Right.
And so, but the thing is that, okay, you give them the bone, that's for the pass, all right? Now it's on them to see, like that. Because like for me, especially as an instructor and working with lower belts like that, in my head, I'm giving you, X amount of seconds. You know what I mean? Like
right.
Probably 10 seconds max. You know what I mean? Right. If you haven't done shit at all,
I'm not just gonna lay there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just lay there. Okay, I'm going to my next transition, and then once I get to my next transition, because I got out of the position that I'm working on. Let's say I'm just working on trying to freaking doing mount escapes, like that. Right. I let you pass, I let you get to mount like that, and then now like that, you haven't done nothing. You haven't threatened my arms or climbed up my armpits or even try to work for the back take or like that, and you're just there just holding like that, Superman'd out.
Right.
I'm like, nah, I'm gonna escape out. I'm gonna freaking get a sweep. I'm gonna I'm gonna roll back over and I'm gonna let you try again. You know what I mean? Right. But I'm like that. Once I let you try again and you go back to mount, I'm gonna give you another 5 to 10 seconds, and then I'm gonna work like that. So I put yourself 100%. In those situations like that, and I think it's very important. You know what I mean? That's why for me, I love like there's sometimes I have slow days. In my classes, and And it might be slow, but like I have guys like, you know what, we're not gonna go over anything, basic or new. let's go ahead and just do a lot of situation rolls. I love situation rolls.
Yeah, I like
you know,
situation
and we just go
training
through
too.
the rounds. All right, top and bottom, side control, top and bottom, mount, top and bottom, back, you know, like that. You know, where it's all like that. All right, let's get on our feet, neutral. Okay, you know, one guy on the single leg, ready, go. All right, your offense, defense, you know, like that
Right.
round. You know, and then the very last couple rounds is just flow. You know what I mean? Where it
Right.
just it forces them to put them. I put them in those situations, you know, like that, because everybody's always gonna tend to go to their strengths, you know, no matter what, you know what I mean? And if they're not forced to put in like that and they're in the tournament, then I'm like, man, you're just dead in the water, you know what I mean? And then so for sure.
But see, that's what that's what it actually means to train with the purpose. Like you're not here to be the world champion side control.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're here to be, maybe you're not, but you know, you're here to be a world champion, or you're here to learn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But side control isn't Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Side control
the
is
only
side control.
position. Yeah.
It's side control.
Yeah.
So you need to, if you really want to do it, you want to be real versed. Like when we talked about before, Jiu-Jitsu is the best martial art for self-defense. Well, you know, like Saul told us, 95% of all fights go to the ground. What happens if you trip over that table in the bar fight trying to defend your girlfriend, and whatever, you trip, you fall. Now the guy's on side control on you. You've trained jiu-jitsu, but you never put yourself in bottom side control. Now you're just there getting annihilated by some dude who's never trained before.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to do.
You better hope the
in
guy
bad
that
situations.
boy ain't coming over to Kurt or stomp your ass. either.
Right, like you just have to
Yeah.
put yourself in those situations. It gives you the space to learn, and it does a couple of things, because you can be in bottom side control and know a couple of things. You can know, one, this is what I need to do to get out, but you can also know, hey, I use this, the mistake he made with his arm, I use that to get out. So if I got somebody in side control, I need not make that mistake. So it can make your top game better when you realize the exploits that you're using. So
it's,
from
you
the
know,
bottom.
and that's it's a double-edged sword, because exactly what you're talking about. All right, like that, you got to know how to freaking how both shoes fit.
Right.
You know, so to speak.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like how are you gonna understand on top, you know, what to cut off, where the grips need to be at and stuff like that. Right. If you've never put yourself on bottom, all right, and knowing the understanding of freaking, all right, this is what I got to do to create space and get my knee shield back in here and stuff like that, you know,
Right.
For sure. You see, like those things,
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, you take any other sport, you know, freaking, you know, Tom Brady or a Patrick Mahomes like that, you know, it's not that they only know just offense. No, they know every scheme and freaking everything like that, what on the other side is doing to see what's coming, all right, to read those patterns, you know, so they can destroy the freaking competition, you know, and it's the same thing going on to the mat as well.
So in that vein, you have to be Peyton.
You have to be Peyton.
Peyton Manning, bro.
Yes. But I'm a big Peyton Manning fan.
Bro, huge Peyton Manning fan, bro.
I like him way more than Brady. Much respect Brady because he got the rings to show for it. But
mad respect to Brady, but this dude, Tony Dungy essentially just let him run the offense, bro. He was like, just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, nah, man.
And you have to, bro.
Yeah.
The dude would just call audibles at the line, bro. Like 3 or 4 of them. Like he just changing the play.
Omaha, baby.
Omaha.
Yeah.
No idea what that means, bro. But he would just.
Don't matter. It means to go and get a touchdown.
It means I'm about to score.
Yeah, about to score.
But it's the same thing though. He gets that because he understands where the holes are, where the gaps are, where the gaps in the other game is, in the defensive scheme. He sees it. He sees it's coming. He knows what's coming because you have to understand you have to understand the whole game, and jiu-jitsu is very important. You have to understand the whole game.
Yeah.
Because there's no such thing as a position in jiu-jitsu that somebody can't get out of.
Yeah.
There's no such thing.
Yeah. Because if so, then everybody would be doing it and
right.
winning.
They did right
Yeah.
there. I'm just going to go here.
Yeah.
But for every position, as strong as it is, there's a way out of it. So even if you say, okay, I've got everything else, all the other doors are shut, but I know that this person can do this. And now you have to be prepared for that in case it happens. And you have to know that from the top, from the bottom, from the side. And that's uncomfortable, bro. I've been in some uncomfortable. I was in a very uncomfortable position today.
Bro, you know what I mean?
Hyper uncomfortable.
There's only been a handful of people that's put me in uncomfortable positions, and I'll tell you number one, of Casio, bro.
Oh, stop.
Even though he got me about 100 pounds, like I don't want to be in any position.
Bro, that dude is like a truck, bro.
Bro.
But
Yeah.
it's two of them. It's like, so these are like polar opposite guys. It's Casio, who is the biggest man on earth.
Freaking a rhino.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's Pablo.
Yeah.
And you're like, that is the strongest little person I've ever seen in my life, bro. He's so, but it's just like, but it's because they know the doors, they know how to close them, and you know, and then when you like, oh, there's a sliver right there, I'm gonna go through that door.
No,
that's a trap.
Head cut off.
That's a trap. That's a trap, bro.
Yeah.
Don't open that door. There's a shotgun tied to the doorknob.
So number 6, all right, like that. All right, this one, I think a lot of people can benefit from this. All right,
Okay.
and it's volunteering to help with classes. Doesn't matter what type of classes it is. All right, I preach more for the kids class, starting at the low level beginner and things like that, before you want to help out with the adult class.
Okay.
All right. Because I just feel like the respect value is not going to be there as much, especially let's say you're a white belt or a blue belt, you know what I mean? And
Right.
you're trying to help out with the adult class. Like, come on now, bro.
Right. Purple belts are
Like
looking
that.
at you like,
yeah, like
sit
get
down
the fuck
somewhere,
out of here.
dude.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So obviously, you know, what I'm talking about is more prone to the kids and then like that. And I'm telling you, like, I've had a handful of freaking students to help me out with the kids class. And immediately within that first 30 days of them helping out with the kids class, I've seen a freaking night and day difference of their training in the adult class when they're rolling. You know what I mean? Because what changed? Nothing really changed. You're still learning. Like, I'm still teaching, right? And you're just hearing the words and stuff like that. But now the thing is that when the kids have to go out and freaking apply it, like I give 2 minutes tops on bottom to work the freaking whatever move set we're working. Now this white belt or this blue belt is going around because, okay, it's only one of me. There's 10, 20 freaking kids like that.
Right.
All right. Now you as a white belt is going out and now you have to know what I just taught the kids to let them and apply them, you know, they can apply it as well. You know what I mean? So just, again, like what we said, it's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? No, like that. Now you're talking about, all right, not just being the athlete, but being a teacher as well. You see what I mean? Because being an athlete, you have offensive, defense to be the double-edged sword. But then now you're being, you know, an instructor as well. I'm like, now you have, you know, freaking different sides of the, you know, the shoe.
So people always ask, like I'll go, we'll have open mats and people ask me questions and stuff. And I'm going to be 100% honest, bro. Mm-hmm. I hate teaching. Mm-hmm. I hate teaching. Only I love it. Right? It's just weird because when you teach, I have to explain to you the technique. Mm-hmm. I can't just do it. And so sometimes you're like, wait a minute, I'm not doing that, but I'm supposed to. So in teaching somebody how to do it, you also refine your technique also because you're having to say it and do it. And so, and that's why I don't mind teaching, because even as I'm teaching, if I do a whole class and like I'm helping a new person who's their day one jiu-jitsu, they've never done anything, and I'm going through the you know, a Sotogari with them, or I'm just sitting there helping white belts go through the technique or whatever. But each time you're doing it, every time you say it, you're reinforcing the pattern and the technique in your mind, so that when you get to roll and get to do it, it does help. It's not. I mean, I don't think you can just teach and then be like, I'm just going to teach and then go do it in a tournament. No. But it does. I think it's a really good positive reinforcement, and if you get the opportunity to, you should. And of course, it's community. So help your squad out.
Yeah, there's no problem ever to turn back and, you know, and you know, freaking give a handout to, you know, people behind you. But in saying that, like, there's just some people that that's not who they are.
Right.
You know, and there's no knock on those people at all, you know what I mean? Because it takes a different type of special person that wants to teach. Right. You know what I mean? That just generally just loves to, you know, explain or teach the knowledge that they have that gave them something, you know, like that means the world to them, you know. And so for those people, you know what I mean, like like what you're talking about, like, are you really trying to do? Because like you're not reinventing the wheel,
Right.
All right, and I say this all the time is like all you're trying to do is just smooth it out, a little bit, freaking, more, for to refine that wheel. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that, and just try to make it smoother, freaking the edges, everything like that. That's all you're really trying to do because you're never gonna reinvent the wheel. All right, like that. As for like, all right, let's say let's go back to what you're saying as like, you don't like to teach, but you like to teach it. I think it's one of those things like, it just depends on the situation. Okay, what day that you caught me on? Is this like, am I training for a purpose and like, and I got to be kind of selfish in class for me, or like that, or is this like a skill day like that where we're doing situation roles like that? You know what I mean? But I don't have mind doing those things, especially with a white belt or blue belt where I have pockets of education for them, like that, like it's something real quick where it doesn't take like this whole freaking theory, and explanation.
It's not 45 minutes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like, don't get me wrong, like that, I can easily go into an hour-long depth like conversation of freaking, why I, how I set up a triangle or something like that. Arm bars area or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that. But like I don't have time for that on a day that we're rolling. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? Like, and then on top of that, don't catch me outside either. Like, I got to get home. You know what I mean? Like that. You see, I get what you're saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then, again, like, let's say, is it more of a skills day, teaching a lesson day like that, and then we're working on something. Yeah, like, if I constantly just see that you're just messing it up, you're not really getting it, and like that, then I can like break it down bit by bit. Right. Like that, especially being a student in the class. As an instructor, for me as a teacher, that's something different. I mean, I really try to get home in, and like for me, like not even being an instructor, like that, as a trainer, like any trainer, like the number one thing that I'm always trying to figure out or like that is having like certain cues. You know what I mean? That people, like everybody can get it. Like that, because like just explaining it, like that, a lot of the language can be lost in translation. Right. But if you have certain
people
cues,
just don't get it.
Yeah, you have certain cues like that, then everybody can get it.
Right.
So those for sure. And
when you the thing about like catching people on, because especially like people are trained, like everybody carves out the niche of time for their day to train. So you have to be mindful of the question you have, and is it a real question? Is it not a real question? How long it's going to take to answer that question? Mm-hmm. But you also need to know that you can always go to the higher belt at your gym and ask them a question. Mm-hmm. Like you can always go and say, hey, I have this question. And it may be because I've had people like they ask us, they're like, look, come to the open mat on Sunday.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it. Like we'll mm-hmm. go through it and we'll fix it. Come to me here and we can fix it. Or I've had people ask me a question and then like found them a video and like here's the breakdown
all
of
the
it.
Time, yeah.
Like here's the breakdown of it. So it may not be that I can sit with you right here for this 3.5 hours and go through it, but I will help you.
Yes.
If you just talk to me, let people know that you need help. And this is the most important part about asking people for help, though. Don't waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
So if you really legitimately want the help, ask for it. Don't just ask me just to see, like
try to test my knowledge or something.
Right. Like, yeah. Like it's not a quiz. Like I'm just going to tell you, because the way you set up a triangle and the way I set up a triangle may be completely different.
We have different games.
Completely different, except neither one of them is wrong. Mm-hmm. So you're not going to come to me and say, well, how do you set up a triangle? It's like, oh, I don't set mine up like that. And then you kind of skulk off like, why are you wasting my time asking me this if you're not really?
You asked me.
Right. Like I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So questions. All right. Like that. So, number 7. Okay. Like that. Ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. But not just ask questions. All right. During class. All right. Like I cannot, tell you how important that is to ask questions during class.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm a firm believer that, you know, there's no stupid questions. All right. There might be some stupid people every once in a while, but I'm a firm believer, you know, like that. There's just not, it's because, you know, a lot of people that ask questions, and I've said this before, it's just, they just don't know, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, like that. Sometimes they just don't know. They haven't been in it long enough, and, you know, like that. And they, you know, a lot of them jump the gun, you know, because they're not ready to answer that question. So that's why they ask the question.
That's big.
You know what I mean? It is, you know what I mean?
That's big.
But the thing is like the reason I can't, you know, stress enough right now to say ask questions during class is because, all right, I'm an instructor. So I'm a little biased when I'm saying this, all right, like that, because, all right, you just had me for a whole hour right now. Okay? All right? I understand your pain.
Right.
Like that, but you just had me for a whole hour, all right? And me, I'm probably like every like 10 to 15 minutes, all right? At like, you know, every 2 to 3 rounds or something, I'll regroup them. Anybody have questions?
Right.
Like that. I'm an advocate of in class, I will always ask that.
Right.
And what is a typical person does? Nah, we're good. All right, or they don't even say shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. Wow, that
They
freaking chimp is in the head.
Right. They don't want to be embarrassed in front of the class.
So, but that's what it is. Like, do not be
bro.
embarrassed, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like that. Because there's a lot of times where, all right, I'll have someone, you know, right after a round, something happened during a round. Like maybe I go with somebody, and then right after the round, they start asking me a question, and I'm like, hold on with that question. Ask that next round when I get everybody together. All right. Because the thing is that in their mind, they think it's a stupid question, and that nobody else is thinking this question. You know what I mean? But in reality, everybody's probably worrying about the same thing that you're thinking about. And it just makes it easy for me as an instructor to answer, to answer the whole, you know, like that. So ask the questions during class, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I can pretty 100% say that you're probably not the only one that's thinking this.
So this is what blows my mind, bro. Blows my mind. You go in, I'm teaching a move, I'm showing a move. The class consists of two black belts, a brown belt, 3 purple belts, 5 blue belts, 7 white belts. Mm-hmm. And then you say, okay, what we're going to do right now is we're going to go from De La Hiva to 50-50 and transition to the matrix back take. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's what it's mm-hmm. And you go through, you show the technique. None of the white belts have questions. Bro, stop.
First time ever seeing this freaking this
you
transition.
You 100% have a question, bro. Just ask it.
I know all y'all are not Neo, and y'all just downloaded that shit into your brain.
Just ask the question, and sometimes it may be that when you ask the question, the instructor may not hold up everybody in the class, but then afterwards, when everybody breaks off to do their drill sessions, mm-hmm. I know now to come directly to you to help you with the question, because you need that help. Otherwise, you say you don't have any questions. I'm trying to kind of looking around the class equally. Mm-hmm. And then the number one thing is you're learning something, you're drilling something, you're trying to do something, you're trying to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do it wrong, and you get frustrated because it doesn't work.
How many times you see like a 4-stripe white belt teaching a new beginner white belt? You know what I mean? Come on, dog. Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot, and I'm
always the blind leading the dumb.
I'm like, oh my God, please don't do that. But you know that question, man. Like, and you're right. Like, it may not just be you that had the question, because there's somebody else that has it. I know I've seen like Pablo will show a technique, and I'll be like, man, what the fuck is he talking about? Right? Like, what is he talking about? And then afterwards, you know, I go and you understand the general premise of it, right? Mm-hmm. So you kind of get enough, but then you're looking and you're like, hold on, you kind of looking at him drill it, and you're like, okay, that's what he's doing. Because sometimes it takes a little extra to just ask the question. Yeah. And just ask the question.
Now, I like what you just said right now. That makes so much sense, you know, because as an instructor, you know, I mean, if you ask the question and I just feel like it's going to take a little too long to really answer like that, we got to keep it pushing. Right. You know, maybe I have 3 things that I want to show this class, and, you know, we're still on the first thing, you know, and we got 30 minutes left. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, like I like exactly what you said. You know, I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and answer it real quick like that, but I'm gonna come straight to you freaking once everybody starts to apply it like that. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? But as a size of fact, going back to what I said, like after the class, you know what I mean? I'm freaking, you know, I'm already getting ready for the next class, and then you in here freaking, you know, trying to take another 5-10 minutes of my time and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, bro, you already had your chance. You know what I mean? I got to get them to the next class now like that. You know, like, don't do this. You know, everybody freaking had their chance and you didn't do it. Matter of fact, you had 5 times, you know, within that whole hour to ask that. Yeah.
You know what I always learned was a dumb question. What an actual stupid question was.
What is it?
An actual stupid question is one that you don't attempt to find the answer for yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, you're just like, I want to be spoon-fed the information, mm-hmm. right? So like if you have a question and you're like, you know what, I don't want to try to think about it. I don't want to try to think my way through the situation. I just want someone to give me an answer, right? Like, that's a stupid question, bro. Because
I get exactly what you're talking about.
So
you want me to move your hands and get the grips for you, and
like going through law school, right? Uh-huh. Everybody goes, oh, you ask a lawyer a question, they always tell you the answer is it depends. Well, it's the same way with jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. Like, so do I always put my knee on the ground first? Well, it depends. Like what is the person doing?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Like, it's situational. And so you need to try to figure out, and I know you've had this, where people will come and say, hey, I was trying to do the technique that you had, but it didn't work. What am I doing wrong? And it's like, well, I need to know everything that was going on.
I stopped them when they do that. You know, I stopped them. Come show me. Grab your opponent. Come show me exactly what you're doing, like that. Right. I don't let them try to explain anything to me. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I'm like, at that level, it's very hard, you know, within a role or anything like that to recall anything. All right, because they're just not experienced enough, you know, to really recall. Like, oh man, freaking yeah, Jules freaking did put me in De La Hiva. Then he went to 50-50. All right, then he looped his leg around, and, you know, freaking and hooked for the, you know, the crab raw, and then pulled my belt down. Right. You know, kicked my legs out, and then took my back. You know what I mean? That's very hard for them to explain. So like, yeah, I stopped them. I'm like, come show me exactly what you did. You know what I mean? And then as soon as the first mistake that they make, you know, whatever they're showing me, which is probably just the initial setup off the bat, you know, well, that's where you did wrong right there. You know what I mean? You don't even have the right grips, right?
You don't even have the right grip.
Yeah, you know, like that. You know, you need to be
have
here,
both hands on the sleeves.
Right? Yeah, you stayed on your back the whole time. You didn't even fall off to your shoulders. You know what? You know, like, you know, it's like that, and it, you know,
right?
Yeah. So but again, you know, I can't stress enough. Ask the questions during class. All right, I promise you, you're probably not the only one thinking it. All right, don't be embarrassed. You know, just, you know, it is what it is. All right, like that, and, you know, just keep it pushing.
You know, here's another one that kind of, I don't remember if this was on the list, but, and you have different schools of thought on this, but one of my big jiu-jitsu do's is to drill.
So I love, you know, okay, like just regular drills, or what type of drills?
So I like to drill the technique, but I like to drill the technique. So you know my favorite little Asian man.
Yes.
So me and men drill. Senpai. He's probably at the nail shop right now. But what we do, I drill differently when I drill with him.
Yeah.
Because what I will do is I drill one technique, but I drill it in parts. Mm-hmm. So the first thing I will do is drill like the guard pull to the grip setup. Mm-hmm. And then once I get that comfortable, then I will drill the guard pull to the grip setup to the grip switch. Mm-hmm. And then make that comfortable. And then so it's bit by bit by bit to the entry.
To put the big picture together.
Together.
Yeah.
Because if any one of those little pieces is wrong,
everything falls apart.
You're not going to get there.
No.
So I like to drill it. I like to drill it in little pieces. And to me, that part is very, very important. Mm-hmm. And I also think, so when I get ready to compete, train with a purpose, I drill another way. Mm-hmm. And what I will drill then is I drill sequences. Mm-hmm. So I will drill the guard pull to the setup, to the sweep, to the guard pass, to the submission. Mm-hmm. So that now it's just one motion over, repetition.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's like a huge do.
You can't even get there though unless you do it the first way.
Unless you do it the first way.
Yeah. There's like, there's so many sports out there where you could probably miss one step, all right, but still accomplish the goal.
Oh, yeah,
all right?
100%.
Not jiu-jitsu. Not
jiu-jitsu.
at all. One of those things falls apart like that. All right, freaking the window for you to recover is very narrow. That, you know what, you're gonna have to kick back out, reset, all right, and then start back
all over again. Yes,
all
sir.
over again. Yeah,
back to square one, because this is going. I mean,
you know,
if you're with somebody, and this is one of the things that you should be mindful of when you're training. Like you said earlier, when you're training with that white belt, you may be able to make that mistake and then recover from that mistake. But you need to be cognizant that was a mistake.
Yeah, and
it took all this to recover with somebody that I could control. You make a mistake with somebody that's the same level as you, you're not coming back.
Yeah,
I mean, coming back is going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah. That's why I say all the time, you know, freaking like to my white belts right now and stuff like that. I'm like, at your level as a white belt, all right, it's whoever makes the least amount of mistakes wins. All right, it's gonna win. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes is gonna win. At our level as black belts, whoever makes the first mistake is more likely gonna lose.
Is it right? Yeah. That's the that's great.
I say that exactly all the time. Right. And then, you know, going with that, so number 8, be your own gauge. You know what I mean? Like that. Yeah. So you know, what's your thought on that? You know, for sure.
Well, so jiu-jitsu. Oh, don't say that. But jiu-jitsu is like, it's a walk. You know what I'm saying? And you mentioned this before in another, like, you have a path through the forest, I have a path through the forest.
Yes.
Those paths are not going to be the same. So I can't look at where you are in your walk and go and base that on where I need to base my movement, my learning on what I'm doing. For example, you're trying to do a technique. You try it on a white belt. It works on the white belts. Because it works on the white belts, that doesn't mean you run to a tournament and try it on the purple belt with you, because that's not the way that works. Yeah. You need to go, once you can do it on the white belt with without failure, without resistance, without it's working consistently, then you move to the blue belt. Yeah. Then you move to the purple belt. Yeah. Then once you get to your rank, whatever your rank is, if you can do the technique in your rank, now you're ready to try to apply it in the tournament. Now you're ready, but that takes time, bro. Yeah, that takes time.
You know, I think a lot of people, what ends up happening is because, all right, like you're, you know, within the community of whatever your school is like that, you know, let's say like you're real good friends and you're always training with such and such black belt, such and such brown belt, like that all the time, and then you're a blue belt, right? So now freaking you know, it's naturally things are going to be rubbed off, you know, like that, you know, and then now, you know, the only thing is because you're correlating your game to what their games are, you know, like that, because you're all constantly training like that. Now your mindset all the time is that I got to be like them, and I'm going to train, you know, I'm going to do what they do in the tournaments as well, like that. But then they're just not ready for it, you know what I mean? As opposed for them taking those steps, you know, freaking where, you know, kind of humble yourself, freaking let it come to you, just the repetition wise and stuff like that. And when you get there, eventually you will get there, but you're just rushing the process, you know, like that, you know, for sure.
Do you remember when you got your blue belt or you got your purple belt and you be rolling with the same higher belts, but it always seemed like it got harder? Like you get it promoted and then you're like, I just rolled with this guy yesterday, and now today the roll seems a lot harder with the guy.
You know why? Because you're not a white belt no more.
Right.
Now that rank proves to me that, you know what, you know better.
You know better.
It's like that.
So now I'm gonna step it up on you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, you thought you know, like that. Nah. You know,
but that's 100% true.
Those guys quickly learn, like, damn, man, he was just letting me do all this stuff freaking for a whole year on him. Like, Well,
and it's letting you work. Like, I'm giving you the opportunity to work, because at a white belt you'll get a certain level of resistance. The people will make a certain amount of mistakes. You'll get 5 to 10 seconds to figure out where you're going. At black belt, you have half a second to figure out what's going on. Like, if they break that grip, they may not be there. Like by the time your grip's broken, you're like, "Oh, this dude's gone. He's not there anymore. Fuck."
There's a lot of times, freaking where, I'm going with my, my students and stuff like that. And again, I'll hold it for that 5 to 10 seconds. I'll give up the position, whatever it is, and I'll give it to 5 to 10 seconds. If they're snatching up what they're supposed to be or seeing those transitions a little fast within those 5 to 10 seconds,
right?
I'm not giving them that position ever again that easy. You know what I mean? Because they already proved to me that they're seeing that transition and that they're smarter like that.
Right.
To, like that. So
they're growing.
You know what? Now they're going to have to be able to get there.
Now you have to get it on your own.
Without me giving it to you.
Right.
Like that,
right.
Because that just proves to me that, you already know better. All right.
Right.
Like that,
100%.
As opposed to someone freaking that I didn't know and freaking they got there like that. It could have been very dangerous to me. Plus on top of me, I don't want to get in those bad habits that I'm always just giving y'all those positions and then freaking. And then what happens? The inevitable happens where you do catch me in it, and then you tap me out, and then you're like, oh man, I tapped out coach. He's a black belt. You know what I mean? Like that. Freaking. I don't even know why I'm training at this school. So I don't.
True story. True story, bro. Guy came to try out the gym one day, and we roll, and he was a blue belt, and I had never rolled with the guy before, but he was bigger than everybody in the room, right? So I was like, okay, well, I don't care. I'll take on the big guy. I don't give a shit. So I roll with him, and as I'm rolling with him, first roll, I realize skill level isn't quite up to par. Like he's probably not really a blue belt, right? Probably got promoted a little fast, but whatever, who cares? Yeah. So I'm rolling with him, so then I really scale it back. Yeah. Like I super scale it back.
Yeah.
But then, I'm whatever, I'm letting you work. But then he gets the submission and cranks it.
Yeah.
I tap.
Okay.
I tap.
Okay.
Bro, do you know what he said to me after the round?
You're a black belt?
No. Bro, he said, I'm not going to tell anybody I submitted you on my first day. That's what he said. And I was like, okay.
Let's run it back.
Okay. Bro, one Saturday class, he came through. And I know he regretted it. He was like, and I was like, here you go. Let me just show you the skill gap that we're actually working with.
I'm gonna just let you know. I'm not gonna tell everybody that I tapped you out 5 times.
right. Like here's the skill gap, bro.
And
and that's part of checking your ego at the door.
Yeah.
Part of being humble, because what happens is that black belt or that brown belt has checked his ego at the door, and now you tried to throw it in his face, and now you're gonna get just. Everybody needs to be humble. We're all here for a reason.
Yeah. That's why I love, jiu-jitsu is so, what I mean? Because, freaking a humble pie, is ready to pop out that oven any
at any minute,
second, bro. That shit's going to be steaming hot. All right. For anybody who wants to get it. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah.
You roll with Miguel.
Yeah.
Yeah. You roll with Miguel. Bro, these guys are, well, they're closer to your size than mine. But you're like, bro, you're 130 pounds. You're 140 pounds. Like, what? Why can't I just put you on your head? Bro, it gets.
Yeah.
Humble pie is hot, bro.
Yeah,
and it doesn't taste that great.
No,
so chill out.
Yeah, you're gonna burn your ass real quick for sure. All right, this one right here, we have try.
Yeah.
I don't think it can be any more simpler for number 9. Is try. You know what I mean? And I think the biggest thing for this is, just for me, when it comes to like when I'm working with people and stuff like that, and this is like, I would say this is more for blue belts and white belts, just being a fish. You know what I mean? A dead fish or a live fish.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that. I prefer a live fish more than anything because at least, freaking they're giving you some movement. But the dead, the one that just
terrible, bro.
Just flopped over, you know what I mean? They feel like this is an insurmountable mountain to climb, like that, and they're not gonna even try no more.
Right.
Like that, and or they just shell up. You know what I mean?
They just wait.
They just hold on to your fingers and they don't let nothing go. Like that. I was like,
grab the fingers.
How you gonna do anything like that? This is what really you're gonna do. Like, let's take tournaments out of the equation. let's talk about why you're really here, you know,
Right.
for self-defense, you know what I mean? You know, because I always paint the picture for on both sides, all right? You know, you know, freaking it's geared towards more tournament style training, you know, like that, you know, points and, you know, theories and stuff like that. But then I always quickly afterwards, I was like, hey, if you're on the streets, all right, like that, why, you know, you're trying to get someone off you, why are you holding your own hands like that, you know, freaking
and just hugging them,
and
close
hugging
to you
him
as
like that. Your job is not to hold someone down on you, you know what I mean? This dude is trying to do you harm.
But let's say let's take it one even simpler than that. Let's say you're coming to jiu-jitsu because you want to work out, you want to get in shape. Just laying on the ground like a dead fish, you can do that shit at home for free.
Hey, bro, burn the calories for me, bro.
Right? Like, what are you doing? Like, but you have to. I mean, you in your mind, you say you have to take a risk, you have to get the bad position, you have to do whatever, but you have to attempt to do the technique, and maybe you fail at it, and you'll fail at it a million times. What is it saying? Like, you know, the guy will fail a million times. You fear the man who's done one technique 1,000 times.
Yeah, fear the man that's done a kick. I mean, fear the man that's done the technique 1,000 times instead of the man that's done the technique once.
Right. You got.
Or like, 1,000 techniques
one time. Yeah.
Yes.
You just keep trying.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Like you try, and then that's the only way, especially white and blue belt. That's how you develop your game. You develop your game by trying all the different techniques. You try over, and then you figure out what works the best for you, and then where you're really strong, and that's how you develop your tournament game. Because you're like, okay, these are the techniques that work for me the strongest. Doesn't mean you stop trying everything else, but now you're helping your coach put together your tournament roadmap.
Yeah,
you keep trying, you keep learning, because by the time you get to brown belt, you know, everybody's got a game. Everybody's game is solid. Now it's just that one grip fight. Yeah, for you, like everybody's fighting for that one sleeve, that one pant leg grip. Well, what are we going to do if you don't get that pant leg grip? You have to have a plan B and a plan C. And realistically, they need to be damn near as strong as your plan A. Yeah. So try. Work for it.
You know, I'll give you, freaking a story for me and talking about some humble pie. All right, bro. All right. Because you know me, all right? Right. Freaking, I've been wrestling for a very long time. My wrestling, is up there. It's great. You know what I mean? And then when I came to Pablo's, all right, freaking, you know, I tell people, like, you know, for that first month, no one could have stopped my wrestling, anything like that. I played the game that I wanted to play. Took you down, freaking grind you on top, you know, passed your guard, and, you know, and did what I did. You know what I mean? After that month, people, you know, caught wind of who I was and as a wrestler and stuff like that. What did they doing? Pull guard. Yeah, I mean? But coming from a different school, you know, going to Pablo's, like, I didn't know what the fuck pulling guard was. You know what I mean? Right. And I'll tell you another thing, all right? Alex Lane, real good friend, all right, like that. I remember when I freaking, you know, going with Alex Lane, you know, a couple of my takedowns worked with him like that, and then quickly he just changed up his game like that, all right? And then freaking before I knew it, I was getting bow and arrow choke freaking 8 times in one round, you know what I mean? Like that. He'll pull guard, bolo me, take my back, fucking crank the shit out of the bow arrow. Right. All right. And I could just never stop it, you know what I mean? But then freaking, you know, going from purple to brown and stuff like that, I remember, you know, within, you know, 2 to 3 years of freaking working on my guard pulling, because I'm a wrestler. I don't pull guard. Right. All right. And I had to force myself and freaking put myself in these positions. All right. And I knew if I never tried to even do these things, like, I'd still be, you know, just that wrestler, you know, one, you know, trick pony, fucking take you down, smash and pass kind of guy. You know what I mean? Which doesn't work, you know, freaking, you know, at my level anymore, you know, like that, you know. And so, you know, for me, if I never try those things, like, trust me, like that, I would probably say for the better of the last 2 years of me working my guard game now, of me trying to, you know, different things and trying to find my freaking game for guard, you know, like that. Like, I know I can always go to my go-to for wrestling, you know what I mean? But that's not what I want to specialize. I want to be a well-rounded, you know, freaking fighter, like that, you know. And being in, you know, on the mats at Pablo's on Saturdays, where guess what? There's no fucking wrestling room anyway, right? Like there's it's
no room to wrestle.
Yeah,
zero room to wrestle.
That. You know, you're gonna blast double right into 3 people behind you. You know what I mean? So yeah, you know, the thing is, it's that room will force you to, you know, freaking pull guard and work from the bottom like that.
But you have to. But like you said, you know, you went through and you had to, like, you learn, and it wasn't that oh man, this isn't for me anymore. It's that you learn and you have to check the ego at the door. You have to try to do something else because you have to counter what's going on.
And bro, like I'm telling you, you know what I mean? Because that whole stint, that 2 years like that, even now, you know, you're freaking like that. Not so much now because like now I have a better understanding of what it is to really play guard. But those first 2 years of me really putting the bulk in of trying to learn guard, you know, De La Hiva or Spatter Lasso or, you know, freaking whatever other, you know, game that Pablo was showing us at the time like that. Bro, I got my fucking ass checked hard, man, by purples. Purple belts, brown belts, right? For sure, black belts. You know what I mean? And like, so much doubt in my head, like, man, fuck this shit. Like, bro, what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? Bro, you know, like that. Yeah. And I get it, but the thing is like, as simple as that word is, just try. You know what I mean? Like that. It just, you know.
There is no way to avoid that car ride home that every person that does jiu-jitsu has had at least once, where you go, I probably need to quit doing this.
Yeah, fuck this.
Everybody's had that. If somebody tells you, nah, I never felt like that. Yeah.
You know how many times on a Saturday it's like, why am I waking up to do this to myself?
Why am I doing this? Bro, anybody who tells you that they've never thought that is lying. They're lying, bro. Yes. It's a lie. Yeah. It's not a real thing.
I think like every 2-3 months you'll probably have one good Saturday. Yeah. Well, you know what? I fuck people up.
Well, you know, I tell people that the way that jiu-jitsu actually works is it's valleys and peaks. But if you're really learning, your valleys and peaks are steadily going up every time. So there'll be periods of time where even now I'll be rolling and then something will just click to me 12 years later and you go, oh shit, that's why you do that. Yeah. And you just have them. They just come.
All right. It's a rule. Have you ever heard of the rules of thirds? All right. So 33% of the time you're going to have good days. Right. 33% of the time you're going to have bad days. And 33% of the times you're just going to have neutral days. Okay. Like that. All right. Because that's exactly how it is, you know. Right. Sometimes it always feels like those neutral days are more bad days than neutral, you know what I mean? Right. Like you just spinning tires, like I didn't get nowhere. Right. You know what I mean? So those neutral days kind of feel like bad days, you know what I mean? But that's what it is, right? Like that, you know. As long as it keeps going this way, up and down, up, instead of here, right? Because you're kind of just losing, like, yeah, you know, you're on the right track.
You're on the right track. It will happen. Right, it will definitely happen.
All right, last one here, number 10. All right. YouTube, social media, freaking, you know, teaching. How do you feel about this?
So,
I feel it can go real bad and it could be real good when you're going on YouTube or social media to learn.
This moves. Is the thing. I think that I think that it can be good if you understand what you're doing. Yeah. If you understand the base fundamentals, then you can actually get something out of it because you're looking at a nuanced position or something, or you're just saying, hey, I understand single leg X. I'm looking at this person's entry to single leg X from a different point. Okay. If you don't understand single leg X, don't go study anybody, listen to your professor. And here's why I say that. I say that because this is also one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of seminars. Why I don't go to a lot of seminars. You go to a seminar, you spend 3 hours with somebody, you pay $75. This person shows you a technique. You go try to apply that technique someplace else, but your coach wasn't at the seminar, so he doesn't see the technique. You try to do the technique in a tournament, but nobody was there, and the person that taught the seminar is not there to help you through it the way that you learned it. Yeah. And so now you're like,
it took this guy 20 years to master what he's doing and why he's teaching you what he's teaching you, and you're gonna learn it in just a 3-hour seminar? Get the fuck out of here.
Just,
you know what I mean?
If you find a position that you like, talk to, bro, you can talk to your coach. Some coaches will charge for private, some coaches won't. But talk to your coach and say, hey, I really like matrix. I really like the bear trap. Let the coach teach you that bear trap position so that when you're doing it and competing, they understand what you know, how to do it, and they can coach you through it. YouTube, the internet, is so dangerous. I've been many a night gone down crazy rabbit holes, bro. Yeah. Crazy rabbit holes.
Yeah.
like, bro,
I get it.
crazy shit. But there's so much stuff out there that you can get distracted.
Yeah.
And now you're all over the place, and we've all seen that person in the gym that knows 750 techniques, but they can't do any one of them really well.
Yeah.
And they're just, and when you go in, they grab, they're just like, oh, I should go deadlift, heave, spider lasso, collar sleeve, and then squid, and then you're like, bro, what the fuck are you? And really, they're just laying on their back and they're just moving their hands 100 different places, and they haven't done anything.
Yeah.
Because you can give your brain too many inputs.
Yeah.
And now you're confused, and I would stay away from it.
I get it. This is more talking to the lower belts, like that. There's levels to this shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Why are you going down the rabbit hole as a white belt or a blue belt on heel hooks? You can't even do it in a tournament.
You can't do it.
You know what I mean? All right.
Leave it.
Like, why are you even looking up that stuff?
Leave it.
Like that. All right. It's not until you're about brown belt, for sure black belt, where you're able to do these things, right? Maybe when you're doing a super fight, that's where, like I understand that, but like, okay, like we're in like that, then okay, you come to me as a coach, I'm going to give you some entries and things like that. All right.
Right.
But I think where the most times it benefits you is exactly what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like that. I'm freaking, I'm working on a lot of my single X stuff like that. I love the entry like this. Freaking I'm going to look at such and such's entry like that. I really like what Tad and Dalper's doing. You know, like that. And he does this one thing where he does a similar freaking sweep that I love like that. And he's always catching a freaking triangle off it. I want to learn that.
Right.
And you just put that on repeat. You know what I mean? Things like that where that becomes a very useful tool. Not just going on like, oh, I fucking saw this fancy ass fucking what do they call that one when Amani roll?
The Imanari roll.
Like, bro, I've had people ask me about that. Can you show us how to do Imanari roll to the honey hole? Right into the freaking inside heel hook? Like,
no,
you can't do that shit.
I'm not gonna show it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna show it to you because here's the other thing. When you look at techniques, look at tried and true techniques.
Yes.
Don't look at
never go wrong with the basics.
Don't look at the one guy who you have some highlight videos, some that are amazing of dudes hitting Imanari rolls to the inside heel hook.
Yeah.
But you have some highlight videos of that. There's not a lot of them. And the reason there's not a lot of them is because it's one of those like shot in the dark, piss in the wind type of techniques. It's like a flying armbar. Yeah, you can hit it, but what you'll see more is people breaking their fucking neck trying to fly an armbar because the guy just stepped back and was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah,
So go with the tried and true techniques, and really, I say stick to the coach, stick to the people at your gym, because those are the people that when you have questions, you're not going to be able to ask Gordon Ryan, "How did you get to the inside sumigashi?" He's not going to tell you.
Yeah.
Because he's just be like, watch the video, buy the instructional, whatever. Talk to the people that are there with you.
Yeah.
And then they'll help you out.
True story. All right. I had this one guy. Trial class period. All right. 3-day trial class period.
Okay.
All right? Day 1. All right. I'm teaching basic stuff. I'm talking about like shrimp, to recover guard stuff. You know what I mean? Like that. This dude freaking, hey, freaking, I saw this guy, are you gonna show us, can you show me how to do the flute Von choke?
The Von flute, yeah.
I'm like, bro, we're learning how to recover position, like that. Like, why are you even asking me that? Dude never came back after that. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the? He's like, I saw it on YouTube and stuff, and I want to learn. I'm like, and because I told him no, didn't come back. I was like, what?
The funny thing about Von flute chokes is because it's amazing. But it also means you're in a bad position.
Yeah, you're in the guillotine.
You're in a guillotine. Yeah. Like that's a survival
if you're
choke.
Lucky enough to freaking clear both your legs to side control, and the bottom guy is dumb enough to keep the guillotine. Yeah, you're gonna finish it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's only because you cleared your leg. All right?
It's a whole series of mistakes that had to been made.
Yeah.
Before you don't go in and be like, I'm going in for the Von flute choke. No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You're not gonna stick your head in somebody's guillotine.
It's just too much YouTube, bro.
Yeah.
YouTube.
There's a lot. There's a lot. So, wait. We're in Houston.
Yes.
You know what's happening Sunday, right?
This Sunday?
This Sunday.
Fight?
Who's number 1?
Oh, okay.
Who's number one is going to be here in Houston.
Also,
yeah. Who's number one is here in Houston this weekend, and I think it's going to be dope, man. I think it's going to be a good event.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on that,
bro.
I think I'm gonna keep my eyes more on Canelo than that. I'm not gonna.
But that's Saturday.
Yeah.
Who number one is Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, and it's gonna be bro.
I think this might be the time where I finally get my Flow Grappling subscription.
Bro, Gordon Ryan's gonna be in town. Yeah. They've got a 170-pound weight bracket.
Yeah, I saw that.
Which is
145.
And a 145. The
145, man, there's a lot. No, 170 has a lot of interesting matchups,
bro.
Those are matchups that like I would never picture seeing just in a regular tournament.
So the Micah Galvo and J Rod is going to be good.
I think Mika Galvo is just going to go ahead and destroy it.
But
I like the matchups though.
PJ was good, and the funny story about Andrew Tackett, his older brother William. So, bro, I was a blue belt, and William Tackett was like maybe 13 or something, and I rolled with him in a tournament. Got annihilated, bro. Annihilated. And that was the first time where I was like, oh, these guys that like jiu-jitsu is their life, like they're no fucking joke, bro.
Yeah.
And Andrew's his little brother. So I like me and William, super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. Great guy. Andrew's a savage, bro.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing how that one.
For sure.
I really want to see how that one's going to turn out. And then you got Diego Heiss is in the 145 bracket. Baby Shark.
Yeah, Baby Shark. Yeah.
What's he called himself? Megalodon now? He changed his name. He's no longer Baby Shark. This is Baby Shark.
145. That's perfect.
Yeah, you Baby Shark. Right?
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, you ain't no Megalodon.
But that's a pretty good bracket too. You got Gabriel Souza on the other side of that bracket. So that's gonna be fun. And then the match that I want to see that's gonna be really good, Rafaela Guedes from Atos is going up against Natiela De Jesus from Rodrigo Pinero School out in Bourne.
She's a beast.
She's a beast, bro. She's a beast. She's coming back. She had the baby. She spent a couple years off. But she had a baby. Her and Heba, but she's coming back now. She's done a couple competitions.
Freaking building up in San Antonio,
bro.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be a good match, bro.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a really good match. I can't wait to see it. And then the other match that's gonna be good is gonna be Lovato's gonna be here also fighting Ricardo Evangelista. Evangelista was a God, I can't remember. Somebody got injured and Evangelista stepped in.
Oh.
But Evangelista was just in Miami with me at that Abu Dhabi Pro. So he's been like he's in shape.
He's in shape.
He's ready to go. And then Elizabeth Clay will be here. She's gonna be fighting she's gonna be fighting the Elizabeth Clay is going up against the I can't. Come on, man. Tell me your name. Brianna St. Marie.
Yeah.
Brianna St. Marie, who was a sleeper in a couple of tournaments that she had done, but she ended up doing really, really well in those tournaments, bro. Like really well in them. And Elizabeth Clay just won Worlds again, I think.
Yeah.
I think she just won Worlds. So that's gonna be bro, in Houston, jiu-jitsu, it's gonna be a really stacked card. I'm not gonna go because I don't like being in large crowds.
Watching it online is a lot better.
I'm gonna watch it online, see clothes, get a little commentary.
Got people in front of you like that, and you got to
be in your underwear
like that.
That's the best part.
Chill. Right. All right.
But
practicing those no-gi moves. Yeah, I get it.
But like when you have kids, you want to spend as much time with your kids as possible. Yeah. So I get to stay home with the kids.
Right. Just say Ellie won't let you go out.
like you hear the phone, like she's blowing me up right now. She's like, "What are you doing away from the house? The dishes aren't done." And I'm like, I'm gonna do it. As soon as I get home. So it should be good, bro. So it's gonna be good.
All right, guys. All right, check out who's number one. All right, this Sunday. This Sunday, guys. All right. If we left anything out on our do's and don'ts, top 10, like that, again, leave a comment, guys. All right, we're all lives. We'll come back to this like that. All right, if you wanted us to do one for I think I want to do one for fitness, gym, just gym itself,
100%.
For sure. So that's gonna be coming like that. Again, guys. All right, if you made it this far, hit that like, subscribe, put the notifications on. All right. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. All right. Again, Instagram is SweatEquity_HTX. My name is Eric Valdez alongside Jules Johnson, guys. All right. Until next time.
Look us up.